macroeconomics. So we will start off with some revision. Okay. We have access to past examination papers on the element. So I'm going into a past examination paper new syllabus. Can the ones who are online, can you see? In first line of the Pangala, can you see it? My paper?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
I have to go to this particular paper and start off with that. That is Principles of Economics 16B exemption. Karnataka's paper. We made it in combination. So, can you see? 8th April 2023 paper. There are 8 questions. There are going to be 8 questions. 2 sections. 3 questions out of part A and 2 questions out of part B. Same structure as this paper will be your structure as well, right? 8 questions are there. You answer 5 questions, which means 20 marks each. Okay. You have a choice, but 3 from section A, 2 from section B. Keep in mind to read. This will not change. We have not done any past papers, right? Okay. Let's quickly do this first question. Quickly do question number 1. 4 marks, 6 marks, 6 marks, 4 marks. You cannot access the paper. New syllabus exam past papers. But can you see the screen from there? Maybe you all can come to the front. I have to download and then re-upload it onto the LMS. I will do it, right? For the time being, can you start off like this? Those who are at the back, please come to the front. Please write brief answers, okay? Even if they ask to briefly explain 2 or 3 sentences, don't write paragraphs and paragraphs. time. Because 5 questions, you have to read all 8 questions to select. Don't write down the questions, huh? Don't write down the questions, no point. Take a picture, write down the answers because this paper is there, no? You know, the paper is this. I will upload it, right? Once this is ready, I will upload it. 8th April 2023 paper, 16B exemption, right? So let's write down the answers because I want to cover as much as possible for you all. Distinguish between microeconomics and macroeconomics. With suitable examples for each. Microeconomics is the study in relation to individual economic actors. Macroeconomics is the study of the overall economy in terms of aggregate, right? If that kind of meaning comes through your answer, right? You have to give an example each. Microeconomics, the study of demand for a particular product. Can even give a product, okay? That is microeconomics. The study of inflation for Sri Lanka is that. Yeah, that's an example. You can give a variety of examples, no problem. Is your answer there? Okay, right. So 4 marks, simple as that. Next one, now 6 marks. Individuals need to make a choice as to which wants will be satisfied with the use of limited resources one possesses. Do you agree with this statement? Justify your answer by using the knowledge of basic concepts of economics. Now give this a try. Give it a try. Basic concepts of economics. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Three or three. This mark noticing. Thank you. All right, shall we write answers? Too much time, right? So first thing, definitely they're asking us, do you agree with the statement? So 1 mark will go to yes or no. Do you agree with this statement? Yes. It's very clear. Yes, you agree with the statement. Yes. Then go to the next line. Justify your answer by using knowledge of basic concepts. Individuals need to make a choice. Definitely choice. Choice is one. Why do they have to make a choice? There's a limited resources, scarcity. When you have scarcity and you make a choice, what's the other economic concept that arises? Opportunity cost, right? Scarcity, opportunity cost, choice. Using these three, you can explain this. Okay, definitely those three need to be included for you to gain the next 5 marks. Understood? Okay. So write down your answer. You know the meaning of the scarcity. Scarcity is the limitedness of resources when compared to unlimited wants of human beings. Okay. Choice is when people have limited resources or scarcity, people need to select which wants will be satisfied. Thank you. When which wants are satisfied, right? When you select, you make an opportunity cost. What is the opportunity cost? Let's alternative forward. Those things have to be there. Okay. Is that clear? And related a little bit onto this statement, right? Individuals need to make a choice because there is limited resources compared to unlimited wants. State that when you're discussing the choice part. Okay. Sometimes they may ask you to explain this using an example, right? Then you have to take a human being. You have to take some of the examples. He has maybe 1,000 rupees in hand. He can either eat with it. He can either spend it on clothing. Takes it such wants. Select one want. Best alternate forward. You can explain using an example. Here, go to the third question. Why is the production possibility frontier? Bow down in general, briefly explain your view, and illustrate it graphically. 6 marks, 3 marks for graphical illustration, 3 marks for reasoning. Shall we do it? Can somebody please check if you have access to this paper? I didn't upload it. LMS, can you check if you have access on your page? Yeah, when I have access at the end, open the paper and see if you have it's 7 page, 6 pages. PDF will say 7 with the first page. Questions will like on the question paper 6 page with question number 8. Okay, right, good. Do question number 4 also here. Just briefly explain 3 main characteristics of free market economic system and go to question number 2. Start doing those. Do you have any idea when your exams will commence? 6th of November. Is that the revised date? Don't know. Go to the second question. Second question also fully alternative. Please write answer. Your customer assessment marks? Not yet?
The name is that have done separately.
Yeah. So for you and Menaka is not here. Your marks are added on. You already see the marks. Okay, I have given it to them about 1.5 weeks ago to check what's wrong. Okay, that is you two and Menaka's marks. You saw the mark? You saw the mark, huh? Entire marks. No. All marks. You didn't see. Okay, I'll check what is happened. Because I think somebody's proof had to come. One of your proofs had to come for absence. I'll check. Yours is okay. I'll check. Your marks, they'll just double check and upload, right? I think there's some proof issue. They'll sort it out and upload. Otherwise, from my end, I have handled over, okay? 1.5 weeks ago. Right? Are you done? We have not done the second question of revision tutorial earlier. Have we done something similar? No. Okay, so for the third one in this, why is production possibility frontier bowed out in general? Why? Opportunity cost. Right? The reason for the state of the production possibility curve is opportunity cost. Okay. And ideally, opportunity cost, right, is increasing as we shift from one product to another. That is why it's bowed out. So let's write down. If you have written down the problem, opportunity cost is increasing as we sacrifice one and consume another, produce another. So graphical representation of the PPA, usually, right? For the two axes, right, you have to have two types of product. Best is take capital goods and consumer goods, or you can say take consumer good, maybe like pizza and machinery, something like that. Okay, and bow down is this. Okay, so those who are online, can you see the screen? I'm drawing something.
Yes, ma'am.
3 marks for the complete diagram. Will only get if these things are clear. Capital goods, consumer goods, bowed out. You also have to mention PPS. This is a correct diagram. 3 marks. Please draw clear diagrams, okay? Because this your paper goes to a second marker, is usually a senior marker. Okay, right? So don't draw tiny ones and annoy the marker, right? Now, please explain your way of done. Please explain 3 main characteristics of a free market economic system. What are the different market economic systems that we have studied? Centrally planned, free market, mixed. There are many others, but those are the 3 that we studied in this syllabus. Market or free market economic system is also called the laissez-faire economic system. What is it? The basis is that the market forces, right, will be given the freedom to decide the price and quantity. The market forces, demand and supply will freely decide the price and quantity in the market. There will be no or minimum intervention by the government. Okay, so first characteristic is the demand and supply market forces will be given the opportunity to decide the price and quantity. That is also called the invisible hand. It's also called the invisible hand. Third, the second characteristic is there will be no or minimal government intervention. Usually, the resource ownership will be with whom? The resource ownership will be with private sector and not the government. As a revision, write down what a centrally planned economic system is also. Centrally planned economic system. If the paper that you did, the paper you did for your assignment? No. Centrally planned, what is it? Command economy, we call it. The government or the central planning authority will take economic decisions. The government or the central planning authority will take economic decisions. The government will have the resource ownership. Social welfare will be their primary motive. Social welfare will be their primary motive. There may be other characteristics, no problem, you can add on. Question number 2. Describe the law of demand. Are you okay? Any questions? Any additions? Describe the law of demand. Are you okay? Using an example and that will illustrate it. Law of demand says that there is a negative or inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. Remember, price and not demand, quantity demanded. Real world example. Take any product and explain. When the price of bread increases, the quantity demanded of bread will decrease. Take bread as an example. Draw a graph. Graph will illustrate. Price of bread, quantity of bread, 0 has to be there. Downward sloping demand curve for bread. And price is 100 rupees. Quantity may be 50. When price increases to 125, quantity may be 30. You see price increase, you may decrease. This has to be shown in this relationship. Next one. What is the difference between the market supply curve and the individual supply curve? Same thing. Market demand curve, individual demand curve. You should be able to differentiate. Individual supply curve means it is the supply curve for a particular product of a particular firm. The market supply means you take that product, right? Take it from so many different firms that comes into the market. Horizontally at the function of the market supply curve, you get the individual supply curve and you get the market supply. Okay. So horizontal summation of the individual supply curves will be the total market supply curve. Okay. So you have to initially say the difference and you have to say how you can get it. Okay. Next one. Graphically illustrate the difference between a perfectly inelastic and a perfectly elastic demand curve. So X, quantity of X, let's say price of Y, quantity of Y. Perfectly inelastic. Which way is it? Is it horizontal or vertical? Vertical. Demand curve for X is perfectly inelastic. What does it mean? Quantity is constant. Quantity does not change. Price can vary. Okay? At the same quantity, price can be different. Perfectly elastic. Price is same. Quantity will be vary. Then we saw next lecture 1 o'clock. Right? 12 o'clock. Next lecture. Okay. Next one. The table below shows, mind you, these questions are easier, right? They're not going to be as easy as this. They'll be small, some of it will be small scenarios which you need to read. This is an easy paper. Post-COVID, immediately started paper. These are basics. So, the table below shows the price and quantity demanded of 3 months. Calculate the price elasticity of demand when price increase from 80 to 100 and interpret the answer. This similar one we have done, I think. The same thing we did. Can you do it anyway? PED. So you all should be able to calculate YED, XED, right? This paper, micro is easy, macro is difficult. That's the answer, Yogeshi. So change in unit 400. Remember the negative sign. Yeah, it's a minus. Plus change in P is 20. P and quantity that you are taking, this is the initial P and quantity. They say no 80, from 80 when it increases up to 100, right? So you know what initial is. Even if they give you a table, sometimes you don't know. But they say it changed from 8 to 10,000, 8 to 100. So initial P is 80, this is 10,000. What is the answer you are getting? How much? 0.16. What is this? Interpret your answer. Inelastic or elastic? Inelastic. Why? Less than 1. When PD is less than 1, it's inelastic. That means the change in quantity to a change in price is smaller. Okay, right. Very easy question. Now quickly do question number 3. Mhm. Meeting it. Meeting. Yes. Define the concept of utility and briefly explain its importance in economics to make decisions. Utility in general. What does utility represent? It represents consumer satisfaction with regards to a consumption of one good or more. Right? Utility is looked at in terms of two approaches, cardinal utility and ordinal utility under consumer theory. What is its importance to economics to make decisions? When you understand the consumer satisfaction, right, you can predict the demand for the good. When you understand consumer satisfaction, you can decide the features, the pricing, the characteristics of the good and adjust it so that your sales are maximized. Right? Understood? Okay. So basically for derivation of demand, that part is a must. Importance of studying this whole utility. Assume that total utility derived from the continuous consumption of K is given in the table below. Compute the marginal utility and marginal utility per rupee given a K piece is priced at LKR 50. So how do you get marginal utility? Change in total utility divided by change in the quantity. Now here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So because of that, you can take the difference here. 12, 5, 5, 0, and minus 2. What is? I gave you 1, 4, 6, 8. Then you have to take the change in TU divided by change in consumption of unit. Okay. How do you, so price is given 50. How do you get marginal utility per rupee? Marginal utility answer divided by price of the product. Okay, and get the answers. I'm not going to do that. Okay. Illustrate how consumer reaches an optimal bundle from good X and Y by using the difference curve and budget line. So let's go to this. I hope you all remember the indifference curve, their characteristics, right? Don't confuse isoquant and indifference curve. Indifference curves will come in consumer behavior. This is the consumer equilibrium. On this, we will have what? Two goods. They have given us the two goods. Good X, good Y, units, in units. 0. Indifference curve will be, I'm not going to draw the equilibrium yet. Indifference curve will be convex to the origin. Remember the characteristic, it's negatively slow. Two indifference curve will not cut each other. And indifference curve will be like, map will be like this, IC1, IC2, IC3. Further away from the origin, where the indifference curve is laid, higher will be the satisfaction. Okay. So now we need the consumer equilibrium now. We need the budget line. So first you draw the budget line, straight line. Budget line 1, the straight line. It represents the cost that we can incur to purchase these two goods. Then you draw indifference curve that becomes tangent. IC1, difference curve 1. This is the equilibrium, consumer equilibrium point. And this may be 8 units of X and 5 units of Y. Okay. We have not done PCC, price consumption curve, we have not done. Okay. Have we done? No. So it's not relevant for you. So in this past table, some of it is not relevant for you. She has covered whatever is appropriate for that job. I want you to go home and give answers, provide answers to this question. Last one. Question number 8. We might have done something like this. This is a must for you to answer. Apart from that, don't look at the other question. We did at this question. The Sri Lankan economy is currently faced with many fundamental challenges due to the crisis situation. The unemployment rate and the inflation rate are two of the key indicators which depict the status of the Sri Lankan economy. Remember, unemployment and inflation, we read out an article. Can you remember? And we learned the theories out of the article. There is no particular session for it. Explain 3 main types of unemployment and discuss 2 remedial actions that Sri Lankan policymakers can undertake to reduce. Rather than looking at the types of unemployment, we have structural, cyclical. I'm not going to go into those details. Can you give remedial actions for unemployment that is currently existing in Sri Lanka? That you should get. Why is unemployment high at the moment? We're in a crisis situation. Companies cannot pay salaries. Companies do not do high recruitment. They are controlling, right? Sometimes there is a mismatch in jobs and the skill level that you have in the market. So what are some of the policy decisions that we can do for the existing unemployment in Sri Lanka? First one, let's write down. You write down in sub-theme. Remedial policy action for unemployment in Sri Lanka. First one. Focus education, training and development. Education, training and development. To match the existing labor market requirements. Existing labor market requirements. Second point, write down. Provide incentives to companies. Provide incentives to companies to encourage recruitment of unskilled and semi-skilled workers. Unskilled and semi-skilled workers. Right? Third one. Provide the legal and institutional frameworks to strengthen labor laws labor laws of the labor market. Provide answers to the second one. Describe the movement in the inflation rate in the year 2020 and explain how it affected the lives of public. Remember something similar we did in that one. We all know you don't have to give exact rates, right? Inflation rate. What happened to inflation suddenly in the 2022? What did we face? Alright, so let's discuss. Describe the movement in the inflation rate in the year 2022 and explain how it affected the lives of the public. So what happened in 2022? We faced a severe forex crisis. We faced a public debt crisis. Can you remember? And that affected our macroeconomic variables. Now, not only for the answer, I'm just giving you an overall picture. It affected our economic growth. We slowed down. We had negative, right? There were import restrictions. We didn't have money to get some of the essential commodities like gas, fuel, and we had restrictions, quota systems. There was a heavy shortage. So not only for consumption, this affected the production sector as well. So inflation was hit up due to many reasons, right? What were the causes of inflation that we studied? Demand-related causes, supply-related causes. Demand, there was a higher demand. People were asking more and more and more, right? Because there was a shortage. Supply side, huge shortages. Import restrictions, no forex, right? No production because there is no gas, there is no energy sources like fuel, the basic, there is no transportation. So supply side shortages plus demand, excess demand requirement created a huge inflation issue. Inflation rates went up to around 90%, right? 70% was common for the majority of the year. How did it affect the lives of the people? People had to cut down on consumption. People had to cut down their transportation expenses because simply there was no fuel. This affected their life heavily. Why? They had to stay in queues for collection of gas as well as fuel. This affected their productive time. You would have gone to office and work, you would have done business and work and earn something, but you were standing in queues. So one way their livelihoods were affected right now. In one way, their livelihoods, people's livelihoods got affected. Within brackets, you can write down earning opportunities decline. Consumption, second one, consumption had to be limited. Or switched to other alternatives. For example, write down essential food commodities such as milk powder, and with the comma, energy sources such as gas and petrol, gas and fuel. Even basic medicine were in shortage or out of stock. Next one. Even if the people had buying capacity, even if the people had the buying or purchasing power, buying capacity or purchasing power, people could not buy what they wanted. Third point. Black market operations were in place and consumers suffered even more. Okay? Right. Likewise, you should be able to relate to the economic crisis and relate it to the macroeconomic variables. What are the economic growth, inflation, unemployment, economic development? Understood? That you should be able to do it. Relate it. I don't want statistics, but relate it to general and identify how it affected consumers, how it affected producers, etc. Right. I need 20 minutes more. Right. You have to bear with me. There is another small session uploaded. Can you all check? Already you would have covered it somewhere, but I want to recap and I want to include it in your macroeconomics. Session 8, aggregate demand and aggregate supply. Remember in macroeconomics, we discussed, we are going to talk about aggregate demand and aggregate supply. Right? Not just demand and supply for a product. This is for the entire economy. Okay? This is for the entire economy. So what is the aggregate demand? The amount of real domestic output which domestic consumers, businesses, government and foreign buyers collectively will purchase at each possible price. What is demand for a small product? The ability and willingness for buyers to buy one particular product in one particular market. Macroeconomics, you take the entire country Sri Lanka, right? You take all the buyers, they will include consumers, businesses, and the government, and also exporting foreigners who export from Sri Lanka. The goods and services that we produce, right? Consumers will demand, government will demand, exporters will demand, right? That means foreigners, and businesses will demand for the real domestic output. What do you mean by real? We have taken out the monetary effect. Real means the units of goods and services. So aggregate demand definition, you have to know. Secondly, you have to know the aggregate demand diagram. Aggregate demand, of course, same as demand diagram for a product downward sloping. But what changes in this diagram? Two axes. Get axis. PL is price level. Can we write down aggregate demand? For the entire economy, on the y-axis, it's not just price of the product, it's price level. Remember general price level we learned in inflation, right? So it's price level for the economy. So write down PL is price level. RGDP is real gross domestic product. Real gross domestic product. Draw the diagram and AD, not just demand, AD. Aggregate demand. Now, aggregate supply. The level of real domestic output available at possible price level. Now, that one is how much is demanded. This one is how much is available to sell in the entire economy at different price levels. Now this diagram is different. Write down aggregate supply. Look at this. Write down aggregate supply curve and please write down backward bending curve. Aggregate supply curve is a backward bending curve. Look at the curve. It is not an upward sloping. Aggregate supply curve is backward bending. Again, look at the two axes. Same as aggregate demand, price level and the real gross domestic product. Price level and the real gross domestic product are the two axes. Now we should identify what determines. We know the determinants of demand. Price of other good, price of related good. For a product, we know the determinants of demand and determinants of supply. Revise those. What are the determinants of aggregate demand? How and when will the aggregate demand curve shift in an economy? If taxes change, if interest rates change, if overall consumer confidence change, if the strength of the dollar change, government spending. Aggregate demand will shift because of this in an economy. For a product, it's different. For the entire economy, it's different. Just know these. And for your extra knowledge, not for examination purposes, I'm telling you, not for examination purposes, how taxes will impact the aggregate demand, decrease or increase. I have given it out in a table. Again, not examinable. You just need to know the basics at these principles of economics stage. But we would have done this somewhere. So, determinants and how we change. Now look at this. This you need to know. If there is a aggregate demand increase, shift to the outward side or shift to the right, what happens to price and RGDP? If it's in this backward bending portion, price will increase and RGDP will increase. Clear? Right? Simple as that. If it decreases, again in this backward bending portion from here to here, RGDP will decrease and price level will decrease. Okay. Now we discussed what will shift the AD. What will shift the AS? AS will shift due to these input prices, productivity, and government regulation. Normal supply will depend on cost of inputs of that particular product, right? And how many buyers, those variables I have discussed, right? So, variables of the AS curve are these. You have to remember that. Again, I have put the determinants. If you want to read, good, not example. Now we discussed how the AD curve increased and decreased. What will happen? The AS curve increased or decreased. AS curve shifted to the right. What happens? Our GDP increase, price level decrease. This you need to know. Go home and draw the diagrams. If the AS curve decreases, our GDP decrease, then price level in the economy increases. Same thing you have to know demand and supply of the product we did. Okay, so do a comparison in your mind for a product versus the entire economy. Now, I told you government can change aggregate demand, right? One variable of aggregate demand changing is government. What are the factors that government can influence and change? Government can decide the taxes. Government can decide government spending. Government can decide interest rate. Through these, government of a country can heavily impact the aggregate demand of it. In a product, not much. But for the entire economy, if the government wants to steer growth, they can use these three and use aggregate demand and steer growth in an economy. Understood? How the government affects an aggregate economy can be discussed via the aggregate demand influence. Up to here, do you have any issue? And how the government affects the aggregate supply? They can control the minimum wage rate. They can control via regulation. They can ask the people to increase incentives. This is mainly called supply side. Up to this, can you go through in your slide and ask any questions? We have two more slides. Up to this slide, are there any problems? I just need up to this point. Do you have any doubts? Any questions from this? Aggregate demand, aggregate supply compared to market demand and market supply for a particular product. Please go home and draw the diagrams. A is shifting outwards inwards. A is shifting outward inwards. Draw the diagram by looking at this PPT as exactly. And identify how P price level changes and real GDP changes. Okay, right. Just two more slides. 20 minutes, so just 1 minute, right? We also have a model called ISLM model. Okay, you would have heard, you might not have heard. I'm giving you the model as it is. This ISLM model combines the goods market and the money market. Can you remember we did the circular flow of income, right? In that we had the real goods moving and we had money moving, right? That real goods moving is in the goods market, okay? And that real money movement is in the money market, okay? In the goods market, we have the demand for goods and supply of goods. That will come from aggregate demand and aggregate supply. Okay, real goods. In the money market, we will have money demand and money supply. Understood? Real Market or goods market, we will have aggregate demand and aggregate supply, what we learned earlier for real goods and services. Then money market will have the money flow, right? The monetary flow for factors, the monetary flow for the work you do. So money flow will have money demand and money supply. This ISLM model combines an IS curve and an LM curve. Okay, IS curve and an LM curve. So all you need to know is this. Please write down ISLM model. And 2x. Okay. On one hand, we have interest rate. On the other hand, we have aggregate output or income. Or you can simply call it simple R. Okay. Here you have the aggregate output. Or you can even call it income. 0. IS curve is downward sloping, LM curve is upward sloping. IS curve represents the goods market. LM curve represents the money market. Right? ISLM model, right? What is equilibrium? The equilibrium where these two meet will decide the general interest rate for the country and will decide the country's aggregate income. So, Y star is country's income, R star is the interest rate. Right. That's it. ISLM model and ADA's model. Just a little bit of coverage. You don't have to go into detail. Do you have any questions to be asked before the final examination? Okay, more questions? So I'll do very best. Only what we have covered will come in the exam. You can look at past papers, but if the past papers have a different variation, different lecturers have covered these syllabuses in different ways. right? So don't worry too much about past paper questions. If you find something that is difficult for you to answer from our syllabus, don't worry about it. But the ones that you can answer, you will be able to answer. Remember, national income accounting question will be there. We did it via the central bank Lanka. So you will be expected to calculate it. So you have to know all three approaches, how to calculate the formats. And the reading material that I have uploaded, you have to read the section that I have asked you to read. That's it. Okay, so all the very best to you for this and the rest of the exams. Okay. Yeah, you all can go for the break.